We're happy to have Elliotte Friedman, our NHL Network insider, joining us now from Toronto. And Elliotte, the draft lottery coming up in just a few minutes. Once again, there are some special circumstances here at play because of everything going on around the world. What will you be watching for both tonight and in this year's draft?
Well, I know I will get a Brian Burke text about how much he hates the draft lottery at some point tonight, even though the Penguins aren't even part of it. We used to fight about that thing all the time. I love it. He can't stand it. Really in a lot of ways, Jamie, it's the biggest night on the NHL calendar. It determines the future of a lot of teams, and nobody has control over it. It's complete random, complete fluke. Those are some of the things that you keep an eye on. Obviously, Seattle, the Kraken, will get their first ever first-round draft pick. How high will it be? You're looking to see who moves up and who moves down. And also remember that Arizona, even though they're in the lottery, they don't have a number one pick this year. So if they win the draw for either number one or number two, there has to be a redraw because the Coyotes forfeited their first rounder. Those are some of the situations you keep an eye on.
Yes, very interesting indeed. We just got done before you came on talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs, and because you're up there in Toronto, I have to ask you about them, right? Because people are still reeling off of that highly disappointing end to their season, another first-round exit. So with all of that, do you expect any big changes coming as part of the fallout?
Jamie, yesterday I got out, I walked out of my house in the morning to get ready to take my son to school. One of my neighbors went walking by in a Leaf T-shirt. And I said, man, you're brave to wear that today. He goes, what am I going to do? Give up? I can't quit them. It's like, I just can't quit you is basically what he said. And, look, like, they say today they want to bring back their big four forwards, Tavares, Marner, Matthews, and Nylander. I think they're committed to that. This is what I think they're going to do. This is my opinion. I think what they're going to try to do, Jamie, is they are going to try to find the best non-forward that they can find this year that they can acquire, whether that's trade, whatever it is. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to find the best player who doesn't do what they already have and see if they can acquire that player. That's what I expect their offseason to be. I think they're going to try to do something along those lines to make themselves better. But I do think I'm a big believer if you have talent, you continually throw it out there and you believe in it. There's a lot of people here who want to say trade Mitch Marner. I don't see how you trade Mitch Marner and win the trade. I can be proven wrong, but I don't see a lot of guys that makes sense for. So I think they're going to look for the defenseman or a goaltender, the best one they can find, and see if they can add them in the offseason.
It will be interesting, if it's not Marner, what the price tag is, though, for that top defenseman out there that they might be able to trade for. In other reports, Minnesota is apparently looking to hold on to dollar bill Kirill Kaprizov for a little while. What are you hearing along those fronts?
Well, I do think they've made it very clear that they're prepared to offer him a pretty big deal. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm not saying this with certainty, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's something in the 8x8 range. Like that kind of thing is what they're kind of looking at there. I don't know if it's close or anything like that. Obviously, one of the big things we're finding out from young players right now, Jamie, is that there's a number of them who are looking at the cap situation, which is going to be very tight for at least the next 4 years. Maybe it goes up by $1 million, but I don't think it's going up much more than that at all over the next 4 or 5 years. I think you're going to see a number of players go for short term and then try to cash in bigger. Now, Kaprizov's situation is a little bit different because he's older, and I'm sure Minnesota's going to want to go as long as they possibly can with him. But I do think they've offered him something, or at least let him know there's something pretty big in his future, and we'll see where they go from there.
Well, unfortunately for the Wild, they are in off-season mode because they lost in Game 7 to the Vegas Golden Knights. And now tonight, we have a big Game 2 for Vegas against the Colorado Avalanche. What are your expectations heading into this one?
Well, obviously they're going to have Marc-Andre Fleury back in net, and it's not like Robin Lehner's chopped liver, but he hadn't played for a while. And you took a team coming down from an emotional Game 7 win and a goaltender who hadn't played in 20 days, and Colorado looking absolutely lethal, and you got what you got the other night. Now, Lehner hasn't practiced. We now know he's a game-time decision. It's going to be different tonight with Fleury in goal, you would think. I just think the number one thing you got to do if you're Vegas is I don't think they can necessarily play a speed game with Colorado. how are you going to slow them down? How are you going to get in your way? How are you going to their way? How are you going to control the puck? Nobody gets up the ice faster than the Avalanche. Nobody scores faster from behind their own net to the other end of the ice than the Avalanche. How are you going to stop them from doing that? The best way to do it is to occupy the puck, not let them have it, and get in their way if they do get it. Those are all the things that Vegas has to do better.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because I don't think anyone on Vegas can really compete with Nathan MacKinnon's 25 miles per hour that he hit the other night in Game 1, and surely will bring again tonight in Game 2. Thanks so much, Elliotte. Enjoy the games tonight.
My pleasure, and I've seen Brian drive. He's not going much past 25 miles per hour either.
As I said, that's the speed limit in the town where I live, so Nathan MacKinnon can skate faster than a lot of the cars are allowed to drive. Very interesting. Thanks for the time, Elliotte.
Take care, guys. Have a great night.